Mr. Petit, the added problem is that you are reading a non-redacted version of this document, and I'm wondering if instead of asking you to use the pseudonyms that have been assigned, you simply use an initial, because the identity of the particular person is not important to the agreed facts at this stage. Would that be acceptable also to Maître Roux? He says yes.
So we'll take that yes and run with it. I apologize. I will use creatively initials. Not that I'm confirming or infirming that any witnesses so far have been mentioned, but any names of any individuals will therefore be referred to as initials, or with initials rather. Someone could remind me where I was. Right. Agreed. Paragraph 38E. There were also a number of other units which included photography, medicine, cooking, and logistics. Agreed. Paragraph 39. Duch ran S21 along hierarchical lines and established reporting systems at all levels to ensure that his orders were carried out immediately and precisely. Agreed. Paragraph 43. The original S21 complex was located in Phnom Penh in Bong Kaing Kang 3 Subdistrict, Chamkar Mon District. The detention and interrogation facilities were originally located in a block of houses on the corner of streets 163 and 360. Agreed. Paragraph 44. In late November 1975, S21 moved to the National Police Headquarters on Street 51, Rue Pasteur, near Central Market, Sart May. Agreed. Paragraph 45. In January 1976, S21 moved back to its original location. Agreed. Paragraph 46. In April 1976, upon Duch's decision, S21 moved to the premises of the Phnéa Yat Lycée, a high school located between Street 113, 131, 120, and 350, now the site of the Tuol Sleng Genocide Museum, where it operated until 6th January 1979. Agreed. Paragraph 47. The central building of S21, referred to as Building E, was used to receive, register, and photograph prisoners, and a room was devoted to creating paintings and sculptures that glorified the regime. Agreed. Paragraph 48. 4 other buildings at S21, buildings A, B, C, and D, were used for detention. Agreed. Paragraph 48A. Buildings B, C, and D held the general prisoner population in a mixture of large mass detention cells and small brick or wooden individual detention cells. Agreed. Paragraph 48B. Building A, together with the block of houses located south of the former lycée, called the Special Prison, housed important prisoners. Agreed. Paragraph 49. The former school and the Special Prison were surrounded by fences and protected on the interior and exterior by armed guards, and were the most secure and secret part of the S21 complex. Agreed. Paragraph 51. Initially, prisoners were executed and buried in and around the S21 complex. Agreed. Paragraph 52. At some time between 1976 and mid-1977, partly in order to avoid the risk of epidemic, Duch decided to relocate the execution site to Chung Aik, located approximately 15 kilometers southwest of Phnom Penh in Kandal province. Agreed. Paragraph 53. The Kaing Guek execution site consisted of a wooden house where prisoners were held until just before their execution, and a large area that consisted of pits for executions. Agreed. Paragraph 54. Even after Kaing Guek became the main killing sites, certain executions and burials still took place at or near the S-21 complex. Agreed. Paragraph 55. S-24 was part of S-21. Agreed. Paragraph 56. S-24 was tasked with reforming and re-educating combatants and farming rice to supply Office S-21 and its branches. Agreed. Paragraph 58. The primary role of S-21 was to implement, quote, the party political line regarding the enemy, unquote, according to which prisoners, quote, absolutely had to be smashed, unquote. The following facts are not disputed and regard the same section, the establishment and structure of democratic Kampuchea. Paragraph 13A. The forced transfer of residents of Phnom Penh and other former Khmer Republic strongholds to the countryside. Paragraph 13B. The creation of party-controlled agricultural production cooperatives where people were made to work under extremely difficult conditions to increase food production. Paragraph 18. The Congress also declared that lower-level Khmer Republic personnel would be welcome. I'm sorry. This bodes well. I apologize to the court. I am rereading a section that I have already read. And if nobody else has noticed, I apologize for that. The following facts are not contested. Under the heading Establishment of S-21, Paragraph 40. Duch was feared by everyone at S-21. Paragraph 50. Many other buildings in the surrounding neighborhood were also part of S-21, serving as interrogation houses, execution sites and mass graves, mess halls, a medical center, houses for the staff, various offices and houses for Duch, and a house for the reception of prisoners. These buildings were all situated within a second outer perimeter that was also protected by armed guards. Paragraph 57. S-24 was located outside of Phnom Penh, near the execution site of Kaing Guek, in the area of Wat Dol, in the Dang Cao district of Kandal province. The main structures and activities at S-24 extended from the Presar prison to Chek village, though the total area of S-24 was larger. Those are the agreed or not disputed facts under the heading Establishment of S-21 that I would ask the defense to confirm.
Mr. Hu. Yes, Mr. President, Your Honors. The defense confirms that it is in agreement and does not dispute the paragraphs that have just been read out by the prosecutor, the co-prosecutor, pertaining to the section on the establishment of S-21.
The President, may the co-prosecutor continue.
Under the heading, the policy of smashing enemies, the following facts are agreed. Paragraph 59. The term smash was used and widely understood at the relevant time to mean kill. Agreed. Paragraph 64. In practice, a subcommittee of the Central Committee, known as the Standing Committee, acted as the highest and most authoritative unit in DK. Agreed. Paragraph 65. The Standing Committee decision from 9 October 1975 gave Pol Pot general responsibility over the military and Son Sen responsibility for the general staff and security. Agreed. Paragraph 68. Duch primarily dealt directly with Son Sen and Nguyen Chia, both of whom he believed to be acting on behalf of the Standing Committee. Agreed. Paragraph 71. From late 1975 and into 1976, S-21 was significantly involved in the imprisonment, re-education, torture, and execution of persons linked to the ousted Khmer Republic regime. Agreed. Paragraph 72. As of 1976, the CPK had largely eliminated private property, officials of the former regime, religions, teachers, and what it considered to be the exploiting classes. Agreed. Paragraph 73. By March 1976, the CPK had clarified the authority to execute at different levels within the regime and increasingly sent members of the revolutionary ranks to S-21. Agreed. Paragraph 74. A CPK Central Committee document dated 30 March 1976 decided that in order that, quote, there is a framework in absolute implementation of our revolution, unquote, and, quote, to strengthen our socialist democracy, unquote, the right to, quote, decide on smashing within and outside the ranks, unquote, was bestowed as follows. Quote, if in the base framework to be decided by the Zone Standing Committee, surrounding the Center Office to be decided by the Central Office Committee, independent sectors to be decided by the Standing Committee, the Center Military to be decided by the General Staff, unquote. Agreed. Paragraph 75. The 30 March 1976 Central Committee document marked the beginning of internal purges within the CPK. Before that time, it was mainly officials of the old regime who were smashed. From that point on, executions at S-21 were mainly internal purges of persons from within the party and the military. Agreed. Paragraph 75. Duch's role as chairman of S-21 was to focus the office on smashing purported traitors within the ranks of the revolution itself. Agreed. Paragraph 78. Initially, it was only used for important prisoners. Correction. Agreed. Paragraph 78. Initially, S-21 was only used for important prisoners or those from Phnom Penh, as well as members of the Central Committee. Low-ranking combatants were only sent to S-21 if arrested in Phnom Penh. High-ranking enemies inside the party, state, military, or security apparatuses implicated by confessions obtained from other prisoners were generally sent to S-21. Agreed. Paragraph 79. When a superior was arrested, such as X, member of the Central Committee, his or her subordinates would in turn often be sent to S-21. Agreed. Paragraph 80. The policy of smashing enemies almost always extended to their families, including children. Agreed. Paragraph 82. By January 1979, S-21 had detained persons from nearly every zone, every ministry, and every military unit in the nation. Agreed. Paragraph 83. S-21's role also included executing those persons in the revolutionary ranks who were accused of being influenced by or under the control of Vietnam due to their former or contemporaneous associations with the Vietnamese Communist Party. Agreed. Paragraph 84. As the armed conflict with Vietnam intensified, the numbers of Vietnamese civilians and soldiers arrested and sent to S-21 also increased. The following facts under the heading "The Policy of Smashing Enemies" are not contested. Paragraph 62. The CPK governed Democratic Kampuchea primarily through DK state organization, CPK administrative bodies, and the RAC. Paragraph 63. The 1976 Constitution of Democratic Kampuchea and the party's own statutes gave the CPK Central Committee wide powers, including the ability to formulate party-wide policy and the authority to issue orders to subordinate zones and sectors. Paragraph 70. Although the policy of smashing enemies remained in force throughout the DK period, the definition of those perceived to be enemies of the CPK evolved and broadened over the period as a result of domestic developments and the international armed conflict between Cambodia and Vietnam. The above stated facts, as agreed or not disputed under the policy of smashing enemies, I would like the defense to confirm.
Merci, Monsieur. La défense.
Mr. Hu, thank you, Mr. President. The defense confirms its agreement or the absence of dispute in regard to the paragraphs that have been read out by the prosecutor. Thank you.
The co-prosecutor, you can continue, say the President.
Dissemination of policy at S-21. The following facts are agreed. Paragraph 85A. Duch and other S-21 cadre attended general political education and agricultural production planning meetings convened under the auspices of the Center General Staff. Paragraph 85B. Duch and other S-21 cadre attended training session convened by Son Sen to discuss the need to purge and smash enemies. Paragraph 85C. The policy of extrajudicial execution was widely disseminated by Duch throughout S-21 at annual meetings of the entire unit as well as at smaller meetings of its various subunits. Duch and other CPK members and Youth League members at S-21 were also made aware of the role of their office in implementing CPK policies through the party journals Revolutionary Flag and Revolutionary Youth. Agreed. Paragraph 88. Allegations of treason to which S-21 prisoners had been compelled to confess were presented as fact in the Revolutionary Flag and Revolutionary Youth publications and alluded to in other official DK propaganda. Agreed. Paragraph 89. Alleged traitors such as Chan Chakre, Men San, alias Ya, Suos Neu, alias Chuk, and Koi Tun were repeatedly referred to by name. Agreed. Paragraph 90. Extracts from tape-recorded S-21 confessions or written text were played or read out at meetings outside of S-21 to justify the actions of the regimes. Agreed. Paragraph 91. From the time Duch became S-21 chairman, all specific instructions to and from S-21 regarding security matters were conveyed exclusively through him. Those are the agreed fact under the heading Dissemination of Policy at S-21 that I would request the defense to confirm.
The floor is your defense counsel. say the President.
Merci, Monsieur le
Mr. Ho. Thank you, Mr. President. The defense confirms its agreement, perhaps with one minor clarification at paragraph 85C. Our first version, which we received, is somewhat different from what has been read out. I do not think that this will occasion any great difficulty. I do not think this will raise any great difficulty. In the first version, we have agreement, and the policy of extrajudicial killings was widespread in S21, whereas it is said that the extrajudicial execution policy pertaining to detainees was widespread by Duch in S21. I do not think that it raises any great problem. We are in agreement. May I be allowed to verify this with my team members?
Merci, Monsieur le Président.
Mr. Ho. Thank you, Mr. President. We agree with the reading that you've just provided of paragraph 85C, and of course with the others.
The co-prosecutor, you take the floor.
And just to clarify, I have right here at my disposal the exact filing that was sent to the defense, and it is exactly what I read today, so I'm not sure what happened, maybe in the translation. But what I read was what was given to the defense. The following facts under the heading, the use of S21 confessions, are agreed. Paragraph 93. The role of S21 was not to determine whether detainees were traitors, as their guilt was already considered established by the fact that they had been arrested and sent to S21. Agreed. Paragraph 94. In addition to executing prisoners condemned in advance as traitors, an overriding purpose of S21 was to extract confessions from prisoners in order to uncover further networks of possible traitors. Agreed. Paragraph 95. S21 confessions typically took the form of political autobiographies by the prisoners in which they were compelled to denounce themselves and others as traitors serving the intelligence agencies of foreign powers considered to be enemies of the Cambodian Revolution, such as the CIA, KGB, and the Vietnamese Communist Party. Agreed. Paragraph 96. S21 confessions contained detailed descriptions not simply of alleged treacherous activities, but also of the structure and operation of all levels of the party and of all administrative units. Agreed. Paragraph 97. The operations of S21 were, quote, not compatible with the existence of tribunals and procedural safeguards, unquote. Agreed. Paragraph 98A. Regardless of whether they contained false or fabricated assertions, S-21 confessions were used to decide upon arrests of those denounced as enemy agents and often led to the arrest of many others implicated as traitors. Agreed. Paragraph 98B. Normally, implication in one confession was not sufficient for a person to be arrested. It had to occur several times. Agreed. Paragraph 100. Duch meticulously read, analyzed, annotated, and summarized the majority of S-21 confessions for his superiors. Those are the following facts as agreed to under the heading The Use of S-21 Confessions that I would request the defense to confirm.
The President, the floor is your, Mr. Francois Rouge, said the President.
La défense confirme en effet.
Thank you, says Mr. Hu. The defense confirms that the accused agrees with the paragraphs that have been read out by the co-prosecutor.
Thank you, Mr. President. Under the heading Composition of the Detainee Population, the following facts are agreed. Paragraph 103. The prisoners were predominantly Cambodian. Agreed. Paragraph 104E. Relatives of DK cadre were also arrested and detained at S-21. Agreed. Paragraph 104G. S-24 staff were also sent to Tuol Sleng. Agreed. Paragraph 105. Former Khmer Republic soldiers and officials were held as prisoners at S-21. Agreed. Paragraph 106. A number of Cambodian minority groups, including Cham, were detained at S-21. Agreed. Paragraph 108. The largest group of foreigners detained at S-21 was Vietnamese, which group included hundreds of Vietnamese civilians and soldiers. Agreed. Paragraph 109. Prisoners at S-24, Presar, included men, women, and children, and consisted of two main categories: persons whose relatives were considered suspect, and subordinates of arrested cadre. There were also combatants from various units and personnel from numerous ministries and offices around Phnom Penh, together with members of their families. Agreed. Paragraph 110. Several hundred people worked at Presar at S-24 at any given time. The following facts under the heading Composition of the Detainee Population are not contested. Paragraph 104A. 5,000 prisoners came from DK government offices. Paragraph 104B. Over 4,500 prisoners came from DK military units. Paragraph 104C. These prisoners came from virtually every office and unit in the country and from all existing zones and autonomous sectors. Paragraph 104F. Approximately 200 former S-21 staff became prisoners at Tuol Sleng. Paragraph 107. Foreign nationals were also imprisoned at S-21, including Vietnamese, Thais, Laotians, Indians, and, quote, Westerners, unquote. Paragraph 108A. At least 400 Vietnamese were detained at S-21, of which approximately 150 were recorded as prisoners of war and at least 100 were civilians. Paragraph 108B. The first recorded arrest at S-21 of someone described as Vietnamese was on 7 February 1976. Paragraph 108C. The the number of Vietnamese detained at S-21 increased as the conflict with Vietnam escalated. Those are the agreed and not contested facts under the heading Composition of the Detainee Population that I would request the defense to confirm.
The defense, you take the floor, say the President.
Merci, Monsieur.
Mr. Hu, just one clarification to make it easy for people who do not have access to the document to understand. I'm referring to paragraph 104. It should be read in whole. The first part was the largest group. I refer to the detainees in S-21. The largest group was composed of cadres of Democratic Cambodia. We agree. And then there is point A, B, and C, not contested, and we added there were more than 5,000 civil servants and employees of the DK administration. I refer to people in S-21. So we have the prisoners came from all the offices and autonomous sectors of the country. So I just want to clarify this for people listening to us. I just want to clarify what we agreed with and what we did not dispute. So we just agree with the reading that was provided by the co-prosecutor.
The prosecutor, you can continue, say the President.
Under the heading Arrest, thank you, Mr. President. Under the heading Arrest and Transfer to S-21, the following facts are agreed. Paragraph 111. For the arrest of members of the Central Committee, the decision had to be made by the Standing Committee. Agreed. Paragraph 112. For others, Duch's superior, Nguyen Chea, called the head of the relevant unit for discussion and a joint decision on arrest. Agreed. Paragraph 113. For people coming from other regions who were to be sent to S-21, the decision to arrest was made by the Standing Committee, which contacted the relevant zones, sectors, or districts in order to remove persons implicated by confessions. Agreed. Paragraph 115A. On these occasions, Duch provided the names of the persons to be arrested, where the arrest would take place, and how many forces were required to effect the arrest and transfer to S-21. Agreed. Paragraph 117. Duch was informed on the arrival I apologize. I'll start again. Agreed. Paragraph 117. Duch was informed of the arrival of Vietnamese POWs by means of a list transmitted by either Nguyen Chea or X, his direct subordinate and former chief bodyguard of X. Under the heading Arrest and Transfer to S-21, the following facts are not contested. Paragraph 116. Vietnamese POWs were generally arrested in or near the main conflict zone on the border with Vietnam and transported to S-21 by the unit that arrested them. Those are the facts under the heading Arrest and Transfer to S-21 that are agreed or not contested, which I'd like the defense to confirm.
The President, the Defense Counsel, you take the floor.
Mr. Ho, the defense confirms the accused's agreement with regard to the paragraphs that have been read out by the prosecutor.
The prosecutor, you can continue, say the President.
Under the heading Duch's role in arrests, the following facts are agreed. Agreed. Paragraph 120. On 16 September 1976, Duch attended a military meeting of Divisions 290 and 170, also attended by Son Sen and X, the purpose of which was to plan arrests. This meeting was called because there were an exceptional number of arrests to be carried out within a single unit. Agreed. Paragraph 122. Decisions concerning arrests were kept secret in order to avoid leaks and ensure that there was no possibility of resistance, especially when large numbers of persons were to be arrested from one place. Subterfuge was also used to keep those units off guard. In such cases, Duch would assign X to talk with the person in charge of the unit to calm the personnel and facilitate orderly arrest. Agreed. Paragraph 123. The decision to arrest people was often based on S-21 confessions which implicated them as traitors. Paragraph 127.